going on, Jerome's? So for a long time, PFF has been frenemies with the Minnesota Vikings. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe poop, right? But also PFF hates the Vikes. Also, water is wet. I feel like this is going to be the summer of snarky chyrons. That's what it needs to be, man. But the Minnesota Vikings quarterback situation is quite interesting. So moved on from Kirk Cousins, who got the bag with the Falcons. Okay. Drafted J.J. McCarthy, the highest drafted quarterback in team history, as well as signed Slingin' Sam Darnold, the former number 3 overall pick in 2018. I'm hoping he can revive his career. That's not how you do CPR. That person's going to die. Anyways, but hopefully, Kwesi loves the Mama, I Can Change Him type projects, and Kevin O'Connell does too. So hopefully get a little something out of Slingin' Sam Darnold, as well as J.J. McCarthy, the future. That's right, man. But of course, Pro Football Focus, they can't just let slide. They can't just be like, addition by subtraction, losing Kirk Cousins' contract as he's 36, coming off the Achilles, and the Vikings turn the page. Darnold is a perfectly fine bridge quarterback. Maybe he can be something. And also, I mean, J.J. McCarthy drafted number 10, and the certain quarterback who's pictured here was also drafted number 10. Numerology podcast coming soon. But Trevor Sikkema, Tampa Bay Trey, our guy did up a PFF quarterback rankings, all 32 starters ahead of the 2024 NFL season. And, of course, he sees you when you're pooping. So, the Vikings, the second worst in the league. So, this is what Trey wrote. Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings, number 31. Second to last. I don't think McCarthy will be the starting quarterback right out of the gate, but a combination of Darnold and McCarthy for the 2024 season seems likely. Darnold has never finished a season with a passing grade above 67. I feel like there's reasons for that. Like, I don't know, like he had DJ Moore for a hot second, but basically his number one receiver has been chosen Anderson. But his past two were his highest. I'm surprisingly excited to see Darnold get a shot as a starter this year as he finished his final year in Carolina with a 6.7% big-time throw rate. Well, they were all against the Vikings when he marched 96 yards and also hit a 2-point conversion to force overtime. Not that I still remember that game. KJ, the game winner in overtime, walk-off. 2.9% turnover worthy play rate in 6 games as a starter. So, Trey writes all these like glowing things and then puts it at 31. It's kind of funny, man. At least we beat the Broncos. Ooh, dilly. Remember when that was a thing for like a hot second? Anyways, Stidham and the Broncos won. But just going through the list, I feel like Trey's astute on some of these and way off on a couple. So Mahomes won, tier by himself. Elite, Lamar, Burrow, and probably flip those two, but I mean it is what it is. Josh Allen 4, Herbert, Dak. Dak's way too high, man. I think Stafford is, I guess you could say maybe a little bit high, but I feel like he's way more top 10 than Dak is. So I think this is rather proper. Rodgers at 8 is too high. Hurts at 9. I mean, it seems a little bit too low, but he was massively inconsistent last year. So this is a major year for Jalen Hurts. CJ Stroud crack in the top 10. Love to see that. He should have been in the MVP conversation last year. That's how good he was. Jordan Love at 11, too high. Lawrence at 12, too high. Purdy at 13, too low. And I'm not a Brock Purdy apologist at all, but 13 seems a little bit too low. 2 at 14. Yeah, we're starting to get into Kirk at 15. So, again, this is weird. So, Kirk finally getting some respect from the media after he leaves the Vikings. That's how it is, man. But it's like, oh, but he's got weapons now in the Falcons. I was like, oh, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, Hawkinson don't count. Okay. Jared Goof at 16. Oh, I swear to Christ, I thought that said Goof for a second. I'm just like, we did it. We have permeated the national conversation. Goof at 16, the Prime Meridian, which is funny since he's being paid like a top 5 guy. I feel like that's okay. Kyler, I like Kyler's chances. I mean, another year removed from that ACL. He's got Marvin Harrison Jr. as well as if he's dialed in, because I don't think there's a new Call of Duty this year. Actually, wait, no, isn't there? But we'll see about Kyler. Geno at 18. Yeah. So I like that Trey does incorporate rookies as opposed to just putting them at the bottom. So Caleb Williams at 19. I mean, if he can get some protection and doesn't just play hero ball, sure. Tier 5 can single-handedly win or lose games. Baker. I feel like Baker's a little bit too low on this. Derek Carr, too high at 21. Russ at 22 is way too high. Deshaun Watson, 23, probably about astute, maybe a little bit high. The next generation, Richardson, Bryce Young, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, blah, blah, blah. I feel like now this is the cop-out where you just rank everyone towards the bottom. I think Richardson is going to be, yes, he hasn't proved it yet, but I think Richardson's going to be at least top 12 by the end of the season. I'm really bullish on Anthony Richardson. Will Levis at 28. Then the holdover, Daniel Jones 29. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. 29 might be too high for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones might be the worst if you factor in that contract, man. But either way, the Vikings at 31, it's okay. If they hate, let them hate and watch the money pile up. Again, I'm pretty fired up to see what Darnold and McCarthy can do long term. I think the Vikings are going to surprise a lot of people, especially on offense. The pieces are there. Kevin O'Connell, finally getting his offense in place, and I think that Darnold is going to surprise a lot of people, and I think that J.J. McCarthy has an insanely bright future. But it's okay. Like I said, PFF just made the list. They're already on the list. So there you go. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Pro Football Focus hates the Vikings. Shocker. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.